they sent me like about 8 demos, and I turned them down like every time until it was like up, to the standard or to the level that I thought he was good enough, to like for me to sign.
The whole New Jersey, Philly, New York is like love. So, I mean, coming here, man, I was out there just like chilling, talking to the people.
After years of straight up silence, Sisqo, the man who had everybody singing about the Thong Song, has finally stepped forward to clear the air on why he vanished from the music game right when his career was at its peak. Sisqo says it wasn't just bad timing or wanting a break. He claimed some powerful names in the business, like Lyor Cohen straight up blacklisted him. And to make it worse, folks in the industry started labeling him as gay, trying to play with his name in ways that clearly didn't sit right with his career. Before all this mess, Sisqo had the R&B scene in a chokehold. Back in high school, he linked up with 4 of his boys and formed Dru Hill. By 1996, they were signed to Island Records, and it was up from there. And let's be real, Sisqo's style alone had everybody paying attention. The hair, the outfits, the moves, you couldn't miss him if you tried. But things shifted in '99 when Woody Green decided he was done and wanted to chase gospel music instead. After that, the group split to do solo projects, but they made a promise. Dru Hill would be back together by 2001 for a new album. Sisqo wasn't playing around either. He dropped Unleash the Dragon in '99 and it blew up. We're talking 4 Grammy nominations and 2 Grammy wins. The way people were locked into his performances, his wild fits, the energy he brought, some folks even started saying he might be the next Michael Jackson.
All right, now, everybody knows that this past year has been the season of the thong. What's up with that, Sisqo?
Well, actually, I was inspired by very, beautiful women. I'm moved by, beautiful women. As a matter of fact, right now I'm moving a little bit, so maybe I should step back.
All right, now.
And then he dropped the legendary Thong Song that wasn't even meant for Sisqo in the first place. According to several sources, that track was actually supposed to land in Michael Jackson's hands. Yeah, imagine MJ hitting those notes talking about thongs, but somehow, some way, it slid over to Sisqo, and the rest is history.
Me and Tim, we basically were in a creative space thinking about Michael Jackson a lot. We knew we eventually wanted to get on Mike's album, so we were doing a lot of ideas that were out of the box from the normal things people had heard us do. So that was creatively this new sound we were trying to forge before we were even in touch with Sisqo. Because I know he's adding the kick in too. It just sounded very urgent. You knew that it was a game changer. But again, we're thinking Michael Jackson.
And man, Thong Song wasn't just a hit, it was everywhere. The sound, the vibe, the hook, it had people worldwide locked in. Top 10 on charts across Europe, shutting down radio, clubs, everything. It straight up made Sisqo a household name and stamped him in music history. But with all that success came some trouble. See, the line, "Livin' La Vida Loca" in Thong Song had Sisqo in some serious heat. Desmond Child wasn't having it. He claimed Sisqo used that phrase without getting the green light first, and next thing you know, they're in court. Long story short, the judge wasn't siding with Sisqo on this one. The decision ended up costing him a big chunk of the song's royalties, and it was this kind of hit that allegedly left a mark on his whole career.
First, Sisqo thought it would be a simple nod to another artist. He didn't anticipate that it would blow up the way it did. The success of Thong Song made it impossible for Child to ignore. He saw the massive popularity and wanted his piece of the pie. What seemed like a harmless homage quickly turned into a full-blown lawsuit. Desmond Child argued that the line was taken without permission. And given the song's success, he demanded a share of the profits. Sisqo and his team were caught off guard. They didn't expect this level of backlash, but they were now embroiled in a high-stakes legal battle. The courts ruled in favor of Child, awarding him a significant portion of the song's royalties. Sisqo, who thought he was riding high on his biggest hit, found himself financially hit and legally cornered. This wasn't just about losing money, it was about losing momentum. The lawsuit overshadowed the success of the song, casting a shadow over his career. What should have been a period of triumph turned into a time of legal wrangling and financial strain.
But here's where it gets even more wild. Sisqo's loyalty to his hometown played a bigger role in his downfall than people realized. See, Sisqo always repped Baltimore heavy. Instead of rolling with the label's top picks and so-called industry pros, he brought in his own people, friends, family, folks from the neighborhood. On one hand, it's respectable. He wanted to keep his circle tight and put his people on. But on the other hand, this didn't sit right with the higher-ups at the label. They wanted industry polish. Sisqo gave them hometown hustle, and before long, the tension got real. Label execs were complaining that he was too hard to work with, saying they couldn't get things done the way they wanted. Sisqo pulled a fast one, dipped out mid-shoot, and came back blonde again. Just like that, the label was heated. They thought the hair alone was going to tank his whole career. But honestly, it wasn't just about the hair. Sisqo was speaking out on things artists usually stay quiet about. According to several sources close to the situation, he wasn't afraid to call out how labels controlled artists and shut down creativity. He was exposing things people in power didn't want heard. And once you get labeled as difficult in the music game, it's a wrap. After that, it felt like doors started closing everywhere. Features dried up, projects got shelved, and all those opportunities that should have been lined up, gone. And Lear Cohen's name is definitely getting thrown around in this. According to several sources, Leor and a few others were the ones leading the charge to keep Sisqo out, all because he refused to follow the so-called rules and stay quiet.
They cursed out that one executive at the record label that put me on the blacklist.
Damn. Okay.
It was Leor. There you go. You happy now?
He blacklists a lot of people.
Right.
In this industry.
I was
Jesus.
the first one. I was
Really?
black and I was on. I think I started it.
He's so funny.
But if you thought it stopped there, it only got messier. Sisqo's career took hit after hit, with controversies and wild accusations stacking up. One of the biggest claiming he was gay, and he was sleeping around too with execs to further his career. People pointed at his platinum blonde hair, the leather fits, and his whole flashy vibe as proof. Sisqo wasn't having it though. He came out and shut all that down, making it clear he was comfortable with who he was and that his style was just part of his self-expression.
Yeah, well, the gay rumors is once again unwarranted when I guess it was because my hair's blonde. Oh, that's right. Everybody dyeing their hair blonde right now. Everybody's rocking leather right now. Everybody's doing everything I did back in the day. Are they gay too? All right. I guess the silence has it. Nobody asked nobody else what they gay, but I'm gay. I'm just a trailblazer, dude. I'm at the top of the list. I take risk because I'm not insecure about myself or my manhood, so I can do, whatever I feel like I, want to do to express myself as an artist, and it kind of, one of those things that I was able to do first, so that young artists now can express themselves without having fear of being called.
Still, no matter how many times he cleared it up, the whispers didn't stop. If anything, some folks in the industry seemed to use the rumor to drag his name even further through the mud. But then there was this other side to his downfall. According to industry insiders, Sisqo was allegedly pressured into doing things that he was not comfortable doing, and hence he was labeled as difficult to work with. And then came the R. Kelly situation. According to multiple sources, R. Kelly wasn't feeling Sisqo at all and thought he was biting his whole style. Things got so serious, R. Kelly even dropped a diss track aimed straight at Sisqo. But instead of clapping back, Sisqo stayed quiet and took the high road. But in this case, it didn't really do much for his situation. By the time Sisqo tried to come back strong with his second album, and later with Dru Hill, the industry was already on to the next thing. His albums weren't getting the same love, his shows started looking real empty, and the media, man, they barely even mentioned him anymore. And if that wasn't enough, things off the stage weren't looking too good either. One of the situations that really put a dent in his name came from overseas. Sisqo was hit with accusations from a young woman who claimed she met him during a tour stop in Switzerland. According to reports, she was 14 at the time and said they crossed paths at a nightclub where he later invited her to his hotel, and then she ended up getting pregnant with his child. That story followed him for years, stacking on top of everything else people were already saying. And from there, the image of Sisqo started to take some real hits. But even after all that, you gotta give it to him. Sisqo didn't just pack it up and disappear. He found ways to switch things up. He stepped into some business moves with his own clothing line and even started writing books for young people. Plus, he popped up on reality shows like Celebrity Wife Swap and Celebrity Big Brother, reminding everybody that he's still out here and the internet wants justice for him. One user said Sisqo was simply ahead of his time. He was talented and very creative, but he refused to be controlled and manipulated. While another said, so funny hip-hop used to call Sisqo Seuss, but now hip-hop artists are way more flamboyant than him. Another user said whether he really is gay or bi or not is irrelevant. He probably used his feminine inside to promote his artistry and gain fame, but once the executive wanted him to do something sexual to stay on top, Sisqo was like, no, I applaud him, he's very talented, so he didn't need to do stuff he wasn't comfortable with. Unfortunately, in the industry, talent means nothing if you don't allow yourself to be put in compromising positions and blackmail. So what's your take on all this? Do you think Sisqo deserved the way the industry treated him, or was he just moving too different for the time? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.